Hey guys, Sableye VGC here, and welcome back to more Players Cup 3 analysis. So, we're here in, I believe it's losers round 7. Don't quote me on that. I don't get the whole double elimination bracket thing, but I'm pretty sure it's losers round 7. Either way, we have two more games to make it before we can make it to top 16. So we gotta win this one, and we gotta win our next one if we want to stay alive in this tournament. So, we're here versus Drew for losers round 6, and I put that team up on the screen right now. And guys, I'm gonna say, I was a little concerned. I had stuff to deal with the Ogre, I had stuff to deal with the Alecki, the Whimsicott, the Incineroar, even the Grimmsnarl to an extent I was pretty comfortable with. And then I see the Naganadel, and I'm like, Naganadel in Tailwind, obviously because it has that the Fire move, it has the Dragon move, it could probably put in a lot of work against both my Dragapult, my Zacian, and honestly in Tailwind it could probably drop Alecki as well. And that's concerning to me. So... I had no clue how I was really gonna make my way through this, right? Obviously, I needed to try and stop Tailwind, right? So I think I actually ended up trying to go to Incineroar at one point here. This is what I'm debating now, as you can maybe kind of see on half the screen. But I had no clue what I really wanted to go with. I think I ended up going with, let me take the team off the screen so we can see a little better, but I think I ended up just going with my fast mode here immediately, and I said if they lead the Naganadel Tailwind mode, okay, they're gonna get Tailwind up, but what I can do is I can just protect Dragapult and get a nice little Electro Web off, and that should allow me to remain faster. Even though there's a Tailwind up, we should still be fine. So that was the concept here, right? Because I was so fast, even if they wanted to trick, well, Trick's not gonna help. If they trick Lagging Tail, I will be moving last. But if they were to go for the Tailwind mode, I'm actually quite content. And now here I knew they had Trick Lagging Tail. So, similar to the Scary Face Grimmsnarl, I have to respect the trick button, right? They can give me that Lagging Tail. If I decide to max, I'm going to be moving last, and that is not what you want to be as a Dragapult. You do not want your Dragapult on the field moving last. So, here I'm pretty sure I just decided to Electro Web, and, wait, did I actually? There's no way. There's no way I maxed Alecki. Ryan, calm down. Ryan, calm down. I don't know. Do you guys enjoy me yelling at myself as I'm making these analyses? I don't know. Either way, so I decided to Electro Web and Protect. Just kind of scout out what my opponent wants to do, and they actually protect their Regieleki as well, which I mean I respect, just in case they maybe don't want to play the speed tie. They didn't want to lose the speed tie and have me just kill Alecki turn 1. I respect that. And they go for Trick right into the Dragapult that could have very well been maxing there. So Alecki's going to get a nice little Electro Web. And honestly, this is a content start to the game. Very happy seeing that my opponent decided to go for that trick. It gives me kind of a little bit of an idea of what their game plan is here. Obviously, speed themselves up, slow me down, and that's kind of the game plan. That is their game plan, right? They're not really trying to maybe pivot around and just using it as a bait. That is their game plan. So, gonna get Zacian in here, I believe, for the Dragapult. Yeah, because if they try to trick me again, it's not going to work because you can't trick away a Rusted Sword because, Zacian is holding that sword so tight, it just refuses to let it go. But, I don't know. Interesting conversation. Guys, do you think the sword becomes part of Zacian when he holds it? Or when she holds it technically, but do you think it becomes part of the dog? Like, obviously it's a held item, right? Rusted Sword obviously shouldn't be. But the way it changes the form, I wonder if something it becomes locked in the jaw. I don't know. Anyways, that's a dumb statement, dumb statement for another time. Volt Switch does 50%, and that's terrifying. But either way, I still respect this. I still needed to get this in here. I didn't have much positioning with the Dragapult. And now we're going to see the Naganadel. I believe I just dropped another Electro Whip. Yep. Electro's actually going to miss the Grimmsnarl, but that's not the one I needed to hit, which is very nice. I needed to hit this Naganadel. And hitting the Naganadel was the key important part here. That way if they get some sort of Airstream or some sort of Tailwind up, they're already slower. They need to switch this Naganadel out to reset. There's the Spirit Break into Regieleki. That does a lot of damage. This was a point of the game where I was just like, okay, everything my opponent does is doing mad damage to me. I need to find a way to slow this down or do mad damage back. Yep. So right here, I'm not in a terrible spot. I have a free Behemoth Blade into Naganadel. What are they going to switch in? Kyogre, which I mean will take 40-50% from it if they're not bulky. Obviously, if they leave the Naganadel in, it's dead. And the Regieleki, who's going to take 90% from it. So there's no reason for me not to target this Naganadel here. I could have hit the Grim. But once again, I'm not really too concerned about the Grim as long as I'm not getting lagging tailed. And clearly, I've stopped them from doing that. They don't know when I'm going to max. They probably want to save it for my Dynamax, so they're not going to go for it here. They're going to actually switch out the Grim Snarl here, and they're going to bring in the Kyogre for that slot, maybe expecting the Behemoth Blade over there. But with that, we're going to get a nice Volt Switch off into this Kyogre, and again, I believe protects here on the Behemoth Blade. Makes sense, right? Switch the slot you can't protect, protect the slot you can. Perfectly smart play on my opponent's end there, and Volt Switch actually doesn't do quite as much as I was expecting, but still, 50% to Kyogre is 50% to Kyogre, and now I think I just walk in with Dragapult in the game. Yeah, Dragapult time. It's Dragapult time, so the question is, which slot does my opponent want to Dynamax? Where am I going with my move? I think I opted to Behemoth Blade the Naganadel once again, and just Phantasm the Kyogre. Just because once again the Naganadel was dropping. Now there's literally no switching. Right? Did I Airstream to outpace the Alecki? I might have. As you can see, I wanted to. But I wonder if I actually did. I actually do not remember much about this game. I think there was a time I was hovering over every single one of my moves. And I just don't remember which one I locked into here. Yeah, okay, I did Airstream, and the Airstream was obviously to outpace the Alecki, which I believe is the correct play here. Right? If Naganadel wants to switch, maybe the Alecki, maybe the Grimmsnarl is coming in. But the moment I get an Airstream up, if I don't lose him on and I'm outpacing Alecki, this game's just over. We're going to see what Kyogre does here. Yep, they're going to switch out Naganadel. What comes in? Grimmsnarl? Okay, well, Grim came in to die. Grim came in to die. So with this, we're going to get the Dynamax up here. And I believe they actually protected Kyogre. And I started noticing this a little earlier, and it was basically protect one slot, switch out the other. Protect one slot, switch out the other. Most of the times they switch out with like a full switch, or they stayed in one time in Spirit Break. Is it Spirit Break or Spirit Broke? The past tense of Spirit Break. I don't know. Anyways, Kyogre does actually click protect, and see, I get what my opponent's going for, right? They're trying to just play defensive games and find a positioning that they can attack in. But at this point, I think they needed to attack there. Like, I think they either just needed to attack with both, because the problem is now they're so far back that I have 2 months on the field that are going to take either slot whenever I want them to. They're not going to get that positioning unless they just sack 2 Mons. I don't know, like, if they would have left Naganadel on the field, Naganadel would have died, and if Kyogre would have attacked there, I guess Kyogre can't attack unless it Dynamaxes, but like, so Kyogre Dynamaxes, I Airstream into it, it doesn't die. They Geyser my Zacian, I lose Zacian. I still have a +1 speed Dragapult, but I've already killed the Grimmsnarl. They would have probably brought Alecki in before Naganadel, but either way, I still just dropped that slot twice, and I still have an Alecki. So, I think it was just, I don't know, I think my opponent was just trying to pivot into better positionings, and never got a chance to pivot into a position that they liked. Like, I just put on too much pressure on their switches. Like, the Dragapult Zacian, guys, it's so oppressive, it's not even funny. Especially, and then you can throw Alecki in there, like, that way when things are faster than you just throw Alecki in, slow them down, and then bring in Dragapult Zacian. And excuse me, English is tough. If they allow me to get that off, it's a rough matchup, as you saw right there. There was nothing my opponent could have really done to pivot out of that. Like, they were trying. Mad credits for trying to pivot out of that, but definitely early game and letting me get that set up for the late game was just too much for them to handle there. But once again, I still think Tailwind beside Naganadel here is the way to go. Like, if you go like Whimsicott, I don't know, Whimsicott, maybe Regieleki, and then have like either a Volt Switch and go Tailwind, get Naganadel in somehow, or go Tailwind and then get Naganadel in with it once I kill one of your Mons. I mean, I think that's a really good play for my opponent. Obviously, of course, I still have my answer to that in the fact that I'm just going to be spamming Electro Web, right? Like, my main game plan here is just click Electro Web. Slow them down even in Tailwind they can't outpace Alecki, and then at that point Dragapult still just runs over them, right? And that's why Alecki is amazing beside Dragapult, because what does Dragapult lose to? Things that outpace it, right? If Dragapult's able to get these attacks off on these frail high damaging Mons, Dragapult's winning that game. So they actually do go with the Whimsicott Regieleki, and I go with my Regieleki Dragapult. Once again, just Alecki Dragapult, they're very good together, guys. Very, very good. Anyway, so Here I'm just expecting a Tailwind. I don't actually remember what I did, but I do expect a Tailwind, maybe some sort of Electro Web or a Volt Switch. Did I actually max immediately? Alright, good to know. I maxed immediately. Alright. Alright, you'll love to see it. So, I'm getting aggressive here. I guess I figured you couldn't drop my Dragapult speed. So if I get the Tailwind up, if they get the Tailwind up and I get an Airstream up for my Alecki and my Dragapult here, and an Electro Web coming out from Alecki, we should still outpace. Which is exactly what I want here. I want to be able to outpace everything, even in Tailwind. So I get my Airstream up before Naganadel comes onto field, which I think is the most important part here. But anyways, we're going to see what this, what my opponent wants to go for here, because I actually don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's a Tailwind now. Yep, there's the Tailwind, and like I said, I was a little concerned about Naganadel coming in eventually. Because you have to think it's going to come in. There's the Regieleki, just goes for that Thunder. Just a mad aggressive play there with the Thunder that I don't necessarily agree with. I think maybe you try and slow down my Regieleki, potentially. I personally would have liked to see my opponent slow down my Regieleki there, but Dragapult's gonna go for the max Airstream right now. And the important part here is, yes, I'm at +1, right? But they're also technically at +2 with the Tailwind, but they're not because they're -1. So if you do some quick math here, I might as well do it. I didn't do it in game, I was just confident. But 277 times 0.67, if I can do math right, then times 2 is equal to 371. So their Alecki sitting at 371, and my Alecki is 277 times 1.5 is 415. So I was confident in that, knowing that just from practice. I didn't actually have to pull the calculator out mid-set. I don't even think I'm allowed to, but I did not. But anyways, can you? No, I definitely don't think you can pull a calculator out mid-set. I did not do that. Anyways, I was confident from the experience, but I figured from here we might as well see exactly just how much faster I was. But now, Alecki's still the fastest thing on the field. I'm a little concerned. I don't know the Naganadel speed to here, but I'm pretty confident if Alecki gets the Electro Web off onto it, Dragapult's just going to be the fastest thing on the field. So this game is, I think, over right here. And they just Dynamaxed the Naganadel here. And they, like I said, they need to either dodge an Electro Web or somehow still be faster or live an attack. And Alecki is just enabling Dragapult right now. And it's just so good at doing that, right? Like, if they would have been able to get the Tailwind up without me having Alecki on the field right now, and I wasn't slowing them down, I was in trouble. Like, a lot of trouble. But anyways, Electro Web gonna come out right here, and Dragapult now, because I've slowed this Alecki down twice, and Dragapult's at +1, is actually gonna outpace the Alecki. So I don't even have to risk a potential Thunder Para or anything perhaps that wants to go into this Dragapult. We're gonna get a nice little max Wormwind right there, and again, it's just gonna drop. So Dragapult's an absolute beast. You'll love to see it. And Naganadel gonna go down. And I think right here, from this point on, it's just over, guys. Like, it's probably the Ogre in the back. Our Regieleki is zooming right now. Our Dragapult can drop this Regieleki at any point, and I believe I do, just to make it a 3v1. And there's an Electro Web. So opponent trying to catch up to me here with the Electro Webs. Of course, he needs to do that turn 1. Of course, it wouldn't have mattered for Dragapult, but it definitely would have mattered for Alecki. If they would have kept my Alecki at neutral speed, their Naganadel would have actually probably been able to outpace it, and probably outpace my Dragapult too, because I wouldn't have gotten the Electro Web off. So, little bit, very fortunate for me that my opponent didn't decide to go for that immediately here, but it's fine. And at this point, like I said, I think I just double. Just get the Alecki and go for an Electro Web, slow them down. Phantasm coming out, just going to drop this Alecki. And as long as Ogre doesn't kill Dragapult, this game's over. Even if Ogre does kill Dragapult, the game's over. I'm assuming I expect a Water Spout here. I don't actually remember what they went for, but should be a Spout. Yep. And it's a Water Spout from full health. Does not kill Dragapult, but does kill Alecki. Even if they kill both, I have a Lapras. Kyogre -1 speed. Tailwind's going to be ending shortly. But we just bring in Zacian. It's -1 Kyogre. My main game plan here was, just not let them see what I brought in the back at all. And just in case, obviously you never know. You never know. I have no reason to bring in Lapras in. Obviously it's game 2, I won game 1, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to win this one as well. So I guess I could have just brought in Lapras, but you never know. Like, maybe he has a friend that I'm going to play next round, and next round he's only going to be able to say, hey, look, I only saw these 3. He doesn't know what I brought in the back, right? You never know. When you don't have to reveal, you don't have to reveal. Battle was canceled right there, but definitely good games to Drew. I just think I got the better end of the fast mode there. Game 1, I think he tried to play a little bit too passive. He tried to use his fast mode to stall out my fast mode, which I don't think was the great idea, and I think they realized that as well. Game 2, I think I just steamrolled with the Electro play there. I don't think they realized that my Regieleki would still outpace their Regieleki under Tailwind. And if they did and they just didn't go for the Electro to keep it that way, to keep themselves faster, then it's just a misplay. But I mean, like I said, they would have needed to go for the Electro and then at that point they're going for Tailwind Electro which isn't a great amount of damage, right? So hence why I'm going for Airstreams, right? I go for an Airstream, and I just try and basically make sure I'm still either faster or neutral speed tiers with my opponent. And that's kind of what I was going for there. And it just worked out, guys. But either way, feeling really good. Beating 2 Kyogres in a row. Just beat James Bake last round. Just beat Drew this round with a Kyogre. And now we have one more round left. One more round left before we have to decide to, hey, are we going to top 16 or not? But with that, guys, I'm going to stop rambling on right now. I'm going to get out of here. I will catch you guys in tomorrow's video for the final episode of our Players' Cup analysis.